tuned to Practical Solutions for Life. Life is full of changes, whether it be a new marriage, a new position, or saving for retirement. These all require a plan. Each week, we'll pick a topic such as wealth, health, or relationships. We'll talk about choices and solutions that will empower you to take charge. Feng Shui can help you get ahead. It's ethical, practical, and it works. Let's get back to basics so that you can move smoothly through life's challenges. Welcome to Practical Solutions for Life. I'm your host, Kathryn Wilking. Good morning and welcome to Practical Solutions for Life. We are broadcasting live from Simcoe County in Ontario today, right on the shores of Lake Simcoe. There's still snow on the ground, and yet I smell spring in the air. I'm sure we'll have some sprouts coming up in a few weeks, but you never know. I'm your host, Kathryn Wilking, and I'm a feng shui consultant. I help people maneuver through life's crisis. I show them how to take charge. And just like the weather, sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen in your day. Oh, speaking of surprises, have you ever felt frustrated with your website, social media, and even your computer? Is it a bit like being out of control? The internet powers have taken over again. This is the show for you. A makeover for you, your mission, and your business. Have you heard of branding? Great branding is a vision, building a foundation, grabbing traction, and then it's up to you to run with it. This week's episode, The Power to Grow Your Business Brand, reveals how a specific marketing focus can put you in front of the competition. So where do you start? Our special guest, Susan Friesen from eVision Media, has the answers for you. So it's time to step out with a new face for your business. Let me tell you a bit more about our guest, Susan Friesen. She's passionate about branding. She has a BA in business and computer information systems. She's also an avid student of marketing and social media specialist. Susan is the founder of the award-winning firm eVision Media. She loves to help entrepreneurs effectively brand their business. She translates that brand into a user-friendly, search engine-friendly, and marketable website, a Wonder Woman of the modern day. Wait till you meet Susan. Founded in 1999, eVision Media can help you have it all, from creating a logo and business branding images, design marketing, professional website, and then promote it through your SEO, social media, and other marketing efforts. Susan has the privilege of working with hundreds of entrepreneurs each year get clear on how to build and market their business effectively. Welcome, Susan Friesen.
Well, thank you for having me, Kathryn. I'm so honored to be a guest on your show.
Well, it's a delight that we can have you on the show today, The Power to Grow Your Business Brand. And I just love your musical voice, so you really add to the show as well, too. I should mention Susan and her team have been in charge of my website for more than 5 years now. And so it's imperative that I tell all of you listeners, I trust her completely with my computer, my website, and my passwords. So listen closely. She's got some juicy things to share with you today. Since we're on the Empowerment Channel, I always ask my guests to tell us a bit about their journey, how you found your passion, a turning point, or even an aha moment. So, Susan, can you share a bit of this information with us today?
Certainly, I would love to. I guess I'm one of those accidental entrepreneurs. I've always been an entrepreneur ever since I was like an 8-year-old girl selling Girl Guide cookies and greeting cards door to door. But as an adult, I was very creative. I had I had a couple of businesses in the design industry, faux finishing and a craft business and things like that. But then one day we got this computer contraption, this odd looking thing on our desk, and I just knew that that was the future. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it, but I knew that that's where things were heading. And so long story short, I went back to school, went to the Vancouver Film School and learned multimedia. learned how to develop websites and to do marketing and things like that. And that I actually had intended on working for somebody. I didn't intend on actually creating my own business, but it ended up that way because I knew how to help people, and I was out just normal networking, and everybody would say, "Hey, can you build me a website?" And I said, "Sure." And then next thing I knew, I was working for myself, and I never turned back.
So it was the sight of the computer that sparkled or something and said, "Aha, we're going to be best friends forever."
Well, I wouldn't call it best friends forever. That is a bit of a stretch because I had no idea how to even send an email at that point.
I know. And the guys would set them up for us and say, "There you go."
Yeah. It would be more like a love-hate relationship with a computer, I would say. But yeah, I knew that instinctively that this was the future, that everything that we were going to be able to witness in the future depended on this computer. My mind was more on desktop publishing, like creating flyers and graphic design work.
Okay.
Even 3D animation was on my list of things to explore. And it just so happens that I ended up learning all of that in that multimedia program that I attended. So I got the best of all the worlds, and that's why right now eVision Media offers all those different services. I'm not doing it all myself anymore. I have a team of experts in the graphic design and web development and programming and even audio and video stuff and SEO. So, but I have an overall knowledge of all of those different areas so that I can manage my team and our clients get the best of all the worlds there.
Wow. Like I said, you're the Wonder Woman, the modern Wonder Woman. That's great. Susan, you've been highly recognized in the past few years with awards for business excellence. How did you get nominated for this award?
Well, yeah, we won in 2016, we won the Abbotsford Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Award for home-based business. We were nominated by somebody. They never tell you who nominates you, but we went through an interview process and we amazingly won. It was quite an honor. Yeah.
Congratulations. That is, just another stepping stone in your success here. So that's just great. And we're delighted to have you on the show. Susan, let's get a few terms defined here so we're all on the same page. We're talking about branding here. Branding is more than just a logo, a tagline, a website, or even a jingle. It's the total experience of working with you. Can you explain the difference between branding and marketing, or do they just kind of interchangeable?
Yeah, well, actually, there's a big difference between the two, and every business needs to pay attention to branding, especially when they're first starting out, and as they evolve. Because as you were saying at the top of the show, is that everything changes, and even our businesses change, and that could mean the branding changes. So essentially, what branding is what you represent in your business, who you are, how you come across, your values, what kind of experience people get from working with you. It's an overreaching essence of who you are and the personality of your business. And so branding is far more than just a logo. A logo is meant to represent your branding. So when somebody sees your logo, they want to get that feeling of what kind of experience they would get from you. It's actually a very foundational thing is having that logo, but there's a lot of legwork that has to come in first before you even put pen to paper to figure out what that logo should look like. And so that branding is everything that you say, and like especially in the social media world, when we are on Facebook and Twitter, etc., everything that we say, whether it's a post or commenting on somebody else's post, we are essentially representing our brand at that time. I'm specifically talking about entrepreneurs and small business owners, where you're the face of your business. Obviously, when you get into corporations and things like that, then there's no longer a face to the business, but there is absolutely still a brand to that business. Their tone of messaging, how they respond to other people's messages is all a part of that brand. And at the end of the day, that brand is causing a reaction. Somebody is getting an impression about your business when they are faced with all these different branding messages that are coming at them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you asked about the difference between branding and marketing, so marketing is basically the advertising part of it. So after you have created your brand and you're ready for business, then you go into marketing, which is essentially advertising your business so that people actually know that you exist. And the marketing message still needs to mirror that brand. It still needs to be in alignment with the brand, but its sole purpose is to make sure other people know that your business exists and you're open for business.
That's an excellent explanation. And I would suspect that some people already start to market before they have their branding in place. Mm-hmm. And that because they just think, oh, I've got to get a card printed for now, and start talking. Yeah. But I've also noticed when entrepreneurs feel that they're not heard or not seen in their business, and their reaction could be they start to panic, compare themselves to other websites that may be done professionally or not, and then look at other brands to compare. Wouldn't it be better if these clients got a proper coaching and clarity for their own business? So what's the smartest move? What's the first thing to do when you want to step into this experience of branding and marketing?
Yeah, and it's a bit of a tricky question, believe it or not, because when somebody is brand new, sometimes they don't have that clarity yet, even of what their offering is or who their target market is, who is it that they want to actually work with. So sometimes it is worthwhile to kind of do that preliminary legwork and just see if there's actually a business for you out there. Make sure that there are people who are willing to spend money and that you have something to work with. But at that point, when you are firm, okay, yeah, I know exactly, what my business is, what service or product I'm going to provide, then yes, investing in your business branding is critically important, because when you're working with somebody who helps you clarify what that brand is and that brand positioning, at the end of the day, this is all brand positioning, making sure that your message and how you come across to other people is the right message.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So we want to give the right impression to the right people. And so when working with a coach or mentor, like I do this with many of our clients, I mentor with them to help them figure that out. Sometimes it's not intuitively clear to an entrepreneur, who it is that they want to attract into their business, who do they want to best work with, at the end of the day, who their ideal client is, and how should they be positioning their branding. So what does happen when the mistakes kind of happen, and when you start to get people who are very frustrated and they're down and out, like they're not getting the results that they want, they're not making the sales, they're not getting the clients, and they're frustrated. And often, not always, but often the reason is because they kind of skipped the whole branding process and went straight into marketing, like you said, and are kind of trying to go the economical route. They've hired somebody from Fiverr to come up with a logo that they had envisioned in their mind. But without that strategy part to go along with that, they're just creating something that they like, which could be giving a completely wrong impression to the people that they want to hire them. If wrong colors are chosen, if wrong fonts are chosen, then all of that is going to cause a misrepresentation of their brand. And then couple that with, sometimes they'll go for the free websites or try to build their own website in hopes that they're going to save some money. I'll make money first and then I'll get a proper website, but for now I'll just throw up this cheap and easy one. Unfortunately, logically it makes sense, but unfortunately it doesn't, is literally repelling people from actually doing business with them, because that representation of them is completely wrong. When somebody comes to a website and they don't know who you are, and they see a cheap website or one that's not done very well, their experience isn't very well, is represented wrong, they're gone. They're not going to hire you. Yeah. They're going to think that you're cheap too, that you're not paying any attention to your own business. Why should I invest in you if you can't invest in your own business and represent it properly? So
you know what? I can comment on that, because I see people too all the time is that they haven't 100% committed. So because they haven't 100% committed, they just want to put their toe in, get their foot wet. What's going on? And gee, how much should I take out of the family coffer? So I do understand that. And it's how important it is to find somebody that trust and know is what they're working at as well too. And I'm guilty as well too. I sign up for little things, and basically what I'm learning is the language, how to talk the talk when I talk to you, for example. Okay, I know what that means now, rather than just feeling stupid and not having a say in how it goes. So what I'm thinking is that maybe an annual checkup is a good idea. Just because your business is moving along, you still need the updates. You still have to revive everything every once in a while. But I do know what's going on new. I'm going to have one more question before our break here. There's a new development with web design, and I think you're moving into updating websites using voice recognition. Can you give us a few sentences about that coming up?
Well, it's not necessarily with web design, but it's how websites are built and how they're SEO optimized. We wrote an article about this, so if anybody wants to go to our blog to check out that article. But it's basically Google is recognizing that more and more people are using voice search as opposed to physically typing in their question. And so a website needs to be optimized to accommodate that voice search functionality, which is a little bit different than typing in a question. So it's just an SEO trick that our website needs to be optimized for voice search.
It's a trick. Okay. So I think the big question is, am I ready to handle a voice recognition thing? So basically, I won't have to do anything. No. You've already got the keywords, and so it's not really, really complicated to put this together. Is that right?
Well, it is. You kind of need to have somebody who knows and understands SEO.
Oh, I meant on my end. As
on your end,
paying you, I don't have to do anything fancy.
That's right. As a client, you don't need to do anything other than tell us, as your SEO experts, can you please make sure my website is voice friendly?
Okay, I like that. I like that very much.
Path of least resistance.
So now that we have a connection to the power to create a kick-ass website with the right branding, could this day get any better? Of course. Stay with us for a short break. We'll be right back, moving into business components, handling negative reviews, and more about online presence. See you in 1 minute.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Kathryn Wilking uses unique personal profiling and other feng shui tools in order to help you excel in all areas of life, wealth, health, relationships, and more. She offers face-to-face consultations through Skype or Zoom calls. She will set up your home office for success. Visit KathrynWilking.com and take advantage of the Home Harmony package. Kathryn would love to see your space and help find the right solutions for you. Check out other products and services at KathrynWilking.com.
Kathryn Wilking Designs is a counseling service with a difference. I'm Kathryn Wilking. I use feng shui to help people achieve their goals. Are you having issues with your coworker or partner? Or perhaps life is beginning to spin out of control. Feng shui can help. Rearranging your space can always rearrange your life. Doesn't it make sense to set up your office, bedroom, and entire household for success every single day? Feng Shui never goes out of style. Visit my site, KathrynWilking.com, and let's get your space working for you.
Now you don't have to stay linked to your desktop or laptop. Take Voice America on the go and listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are listening to Practical Solutions for Life. If you'd like to send a question or comment about our program, please send an email to Kathryn at KathrynWilking.com. That's KATHRYN at KathrynWilking.com. Now, back to Practical Solutions for Life.
And we're back. We're talking with Susan Friesen from eVision Media about the power to grow your business brand. And Susan's website, if you want to check out her, eVisionMedia, all one word, .ca. Moving into business components, Susan, you're a multifaceted company, coast to coast, all over North America. Mm-hmm. You're supplying everything a business owner requires regarding the software issues. And you told me you wanted to talk about how important it is to identify and tailor things to find your ideal client before you even start working on the website or the branding. So give us a few tips about finding our ideal client.
Yeah. Well, finding is part of that marketing process, but first it's defining the ideal client. And as a new entrepreneur, it's standard operating procedure that we'll work with anybody who's breathing, right? And
okay.
Yeah. And I could say the same thing. Well, yeah, how many thousands, millions of people need a website, right? I could say the same thing. But the problem when we have that global perspective is that when it comes to the marketing message, we're all over the map. And yes. So that's why we often hear about the importance of defining your ideal client or coupled with defining your niche market. So the whole reasoning behind that is that the more that we can drill down and define what group of people are most likely to want our product or services. And not only that, but are they going to be your cheerleaders? Like you, Kathryn, is one of our cheerleaders just by having me on your show, and you've referred people to us as well. Like
Absolutely.
To us, mm-hmm. You're part of our ideal client market because you're more than just a client. We have people who are happy to pay our invoices. Like mm-hmm. even that's part of it too, and mm-hmm. happy to tell other people about us, and it's just a love relationship. There's a lot of value that's given and taken from each other. So that is part of the process of defining an ideal client. You want to have your coffers full of people like that, as opposed to people who are always complaining or never paying their bill, or
just breathing.
Or just breathing. Yeah. And so once you know who that group of people are, there's always commonalities that you can start to notice. Like they might be all in a certain age group. They might be all female or male. They might be all part of a certain industry, and as time evolves, this will get more and more clear for you. And then, sorry, I'll just finish that sentence because that's the reason why it's so important to know all of that is that when you create your advertising and marketing messages, you can speak directly to that group, and you can speak their language. You can address their particular problems and challenges and solutions that you can provide to them. So it's just a much easier way to attract them and convert them into becoming a client.
Absolutely. I heard of a visual a way back, and they were talking about putting your mind into your customer's head. Yep. And just kind of walk around like you were your customer, where they shop, where they eat, what they need, what you'll be able to figure out that target. Like what are other lifestyle stresses that they mm-hmm. might have. In order for you to help them. So that was an interesting thing to do. But I'd also like to take a moment to endorse Susan Friesen and her company, eVision Media, because they've been through me thick and thin for more than 5 years now. And last year, my entire hard drive crashed, like totally crashed. The backup crashed, like just like imploded. My whole life imploded. And just when I was planning to throw everything out the window, including my husband, who was supposed to be doing the backup stuff. Susan and her team were right there, and I can't thank you enough. I'm tearing up right now. Really, it was a bad time.
It was stressful, yeah.
It was, but people get confused with terminology when talking to, I'm going to use the word experts such as you and your partner Daniel here, because I don't get stuff, algorithms. I can handle the step-by-step things, but I don't do well on the problem-solving stuff. In fact, it's just too time-consuming to learn how to fix it. But you guys have a help service, kind of like a 911 service call, right? And I just called Daniel, and he says, "No problem, Kath, I'll take care of it." So our listeners do need to know that you have this service. And you charge in 10-minute blocks, right?
Yeah.
That makes it a lot easier. You get your stuff looked after, and you're back and running again. I really needed to tell the listeners what means the most to me after the website's up and running. So,
and guess what, Kathryn? That's part of our branding. Our branding is all based on nurturing our clients and taking care of them and doing whatever we can to help them succeed. And that's part of it. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Susan, you posted a blog recently about handling negative reviews, and I found that fascinating because nobody talks about it. They immediately want to just go and delete these things from their posts. Can you share a little highlights with us how to handle that properly?
Yeah, and you're right. Like, it is human nature to want to immediately get angry, get defensive, delete, hide it. Let's get rid of that before anybody else sees it. And so, unfortunately, when that kind of thing happens, it's actually having a real negative effect on your branding. Remember, I was saying that everything you say, do, think, speak, feel is all part of your branding. And so when you try to hide or get, kind of push back and get defensive on a negative review, other people who are observing this, because usually these reviews are public, obviously, that's why it would be so disheartening to receive. Yeah. But other people are observing and watching how you are handling that particular complaint that came in. And so it's really important to kind of throw that ego out the window and put the professional hat on and think, okay, if I were in this position of this person's shoes, how they are complaining, how would I want to be treated? And then respond accordingly. Now, unfortunately, a part of that that article also addressed that many times these negative reviews are actually fake. They're phony. They're from overseas. Some competitor might be trying to undermine you. But even if you know it's fake, then there's a way to address that by stating, please let me know how it is that we, what happened. I don't have any record of doing work with you. Please give me a call or let us discuss. Show that you still care and that you're amiable to a solution. Let's work this through. That kind of thing. I mean, that's part of it.
Compassion, it definitely. Susan, I want to tell you a story. My book came out in, it's 2013 now, Practical Feng Shui for the Office. And one of the very first reviews that went up on the internet was somebody who said my book was useless and I could have written it myself. And so, it's right. So it's like, well, why didn't you write it yourself then? Yeah. I mean, that was my first reaction. Was that wouldn't have been my first reaction. People? Yeah. Who says that to people? And so, like years ago, so of course, then I call up people who have read my book and ask them to please put more reviews online that did not have anything negative on there. But I'm still shocked to this day that people actually are very rude. They can be very rude on this as well too. So it's since you're a professional media gal, you see probably way more than everybody else.
Well, yeah, you see it all over the place. And it is such a sad state of how our world is right now. Unfortunately, social media has created this bravado of people can hide behind their computers and be as nasty as they want without thinking that there's any ramifications. And it's just really sad. But unfortunately, as business owners, we have to deal with it. So it's too bad.
For sure. So you have a group, assembled a group membership for people to leverage their business through social media. It's called AMPLiFY. And perhaps some of our listeners would be interested. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on this?
Sure. Yeah, AMPLiFY Business Academy was created several years ago, actually. One of the arms of what we do here at eVision Media is social media. We do done-for-you social media on behalf of our clients who are too busy or, just don't have the time to manage the social media world. But when we were starting to get asked to do that service, I was always saying to the client, yes, we can do this for you, but it's important that you also be a part of this. Social media is social, and we can't possibly be your voice 100% of the time. We can supplement and complement what you're doing, but it's really important that you have your brand presence there as well. And so then, because the feedback I was getting was, I have no idea what to do, I created what was then called Social Blast, and is now called AMPLiFY Business Academy, where I created this online training membership program to teach people who, are at that lower level of knowledge and skill set about social media. How do we need to be on social media? How often do we post? How do we post? All those kinds of things that many new entrepreneurs and still, seasoned entrepreneurs don't know really the landscape that they have to deal with. And I've also expanded that into online marketing. So blogging and newsletters and even creating sales funnels, things like that is also a part of this. So the AMPLiFY Academy is a monthly training program where once you become a member, you have access to a whole library full of training sessions about all those different areas in the online world. And then we also have a Facebook private group for, constant communication and feedback, and a live Q&A session once a month as well, so that I can, personally answer any questions that everybody has.
Super. I know social media can be tedious. So if you're not putting your energy in the right spot, you really should pay somebody to do that and find out what their passion is and where they're going for sure. But there's so much clutter online. For example, Facebook advertising. There's a robot telling us to post and share or boost or whatever. And, who do you trust these days? First of all, is there enough moments in the day to do this effectively? And who do we trust?
From what context are you asking that question? As the business owner?
The robots. Who's doing the robots and telling us what we're supposed to? They're guilting us to, you haven't posted in 3 days, What's the matter with you? It's like, I'm busy. That's what's the matter with me. Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's Facebook trying to get you, using their platform. At the end of the day, Facebook is a business as well. And their business relies on people getting engaged on their platform. And so trust, I don't know if trust is really the operative word here, but they're doing their marketing message just like all of us, trying to get us active on their platform. So
I shouldn't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Like, my God, there's people waiting for you. It's like, no way.
Oh no! Don't let that kind of stuff stress you out.
I've moved to Buffer as well to post. I do a lot of that on Sundays, and then I schedule my posts. And to me, that really frees up a lot of time in the week. And of course, there's other things that go on during the week too, just commenting through LinkedIn and Facebook to my peeps and that that kind of stuff. So that's really super here. Susan, we've covered a lot of ground so far, and there's more to come. We still have to learn about your free gift on your site and how to connect with you. So stay tuned, folks. We might need to take notes for this next segment. We'll be right back.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Kathryn Wilking uses unique personal profiling and other feng shui tools in order to help you excel in all areas of life, wealth, health, relationships, and more. She offers face-to-face consultations through Skype or Zoom calls. She will set up your home office for success. Visit KathrynWilking.com and take advantage of the Home Harmony package. Kathryn would love to see your space and help find the right solutions for you. Check out other products and services at KathrynWilking.com.
Kathryn Wilking Designs is a counseling service with a difference. I'm Kathryn Wilking. I use feng shui to help people achieve their goals. Are you having issues with your coworker or partner? Or perhaps life is beginning to spin out of control. Feng shui can help. Rearranging your space can always rearrange your life. Doesn't it make sense to set up your office, bedroom, and entire household for success every single day? Feng Shui never goes out of style. Visit my site, KathrynWilking.com, and let's get your space working for you.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel, VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Practical Solutions for Life. If you'd like to send a question or comment about our program, please send an email to Kathryn at KathrynWilking.com. That's KATHRYN at KathrynWilking.com. Now, back to Practical Solutions for Life.
Hi, and welcome back. We're talking with Susan Friesen from evisionmedia.ca today, and she has a free gift on her site for you, the ultimate guide to improving your website's profitability. Very interesting. Go check it out at evisionmedia.ca. Susan, can you tell us a bit about your guide?
Yeah, it's like a 10 critical questions guide that you should be asking yourself about your website in order to get maximum results. Because like we were talking before about just throwing up a website, but there's just so much strategy that goes behind not just having a website up. You know, it is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long on your behalf, promoting and brand positioning your business. And so it has to be given the right investment to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing on your business behalf. So this is like a report of 10 different areas that you want to make sure that your website is paying attention to and is well taken care of. So a direct route to go to that website guide is www.ultimatewebsiteguide.ca, all one word, and that goes straight to that guide, and you can download that. And then you also get onto our newsletter list where we send out articles and videos and every week to help entrepreneurs and small business owners with running and marketing their business.
Super. Okay. So they've got good instructions to get their free gift. I'm just happy about that. So can you comment a little bit, please? Our society is becoming so fast-paced. There's people in general wanting instant messages and communications. Our inbox are full. The video images are important, and so is quick instant replies. So what's the future for getting clear messages across to potential clients? Now, you go back to the branding. Does everyone get assessed differently to answer that question?
Yes, it does all depend on your industry, the type of business that you have. And yes, there is always something new coming at us. Right now, it's messenger bots is the big thing. And video. If you're not on video, then you're SOL. But at the end of the day, it's we're what's called in the attention economy. And so we as business owners need to figure out ways to get our ideal clients' attention. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. And we have all these tools available to us. Which tool to use is really dependent on the individual and the industry and the business. But at the end of the day, we have to grab our people's attention and sustain that attention before someone just runs off to the next shiny object syndrome that got their attention better.
So can I ask you how you position talk radio, where you're here on the show today, and how does this fit into a person's marketing plan? How can they use that?
Yeah, well, there's two different ways of doing it. Like you're doing it one way where you're positioning your brand in the feng shui industry, by being a host, either on this type of a radio platform or doing a podcast is another audio kind of a way of doing that. And so you are positioning your brand as somebody who wants to help share valuable information to others who could really benefit from it and showcase your expertise in the feng shui world. And then on the other end of that, my perspective as being a guest on your show is an opportunity for me to grab hopefully somebody's attention and showcase my knowledge and skill and expertise, because at the end of the day, both you and I in these collective roles are needing to build the know, like, and trust factor with the listeners, so that people will feel that they are comfortable enough to do business with us, and that's the reason why this kind of medium is available.
So we've got a few questions that have been coming in. Is it okay if we just jump to some questions then?
Sure, sounds good.
So one of them says, what are some of the biggest mistakes a business can do that affects your business brand, reputation, and hinders success? That's a mouthful there. But how about the top three mistakes then? Go with that one.
Yeah, even then, that's a bit of a challenge. And I guess it really does all kind of drill back to that branding, like anything that they do that isn't in alignment with their brand is a mistake.
Like responding to that a negative post, okay, go write it yourself,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just it can get pretty nasty, and that is very devastating. And I think, oh goodness, that really is a loaded question, because there's so many different scenarios that could be. But yeah, essentially anything that goes against what your brand positioning.
So just breathe, reframe it, and move on. Right? That's how I would suggest to people. So here's another one. Says, I send newsletters once a month. I know how important it is to stay in touch with people, but marketing and spam marketing through this channel feels wrong. So I guess I know many of us just delete these things, but it's irritating. Can you comment on this? So I guess the question is about spam marketing through the newsletter, through the emails addresses.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Oh, so there might be two different things there, because this person was asking about newsletters, and what I heard was that they were worried that they were going to be considered a spammer by sending out consistent newsletters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what you heard. Okay.
Yeah, but there's part two to that, which we don't have much control over, which is the spammers out there, and and they're inundating our inbox, and we just have to set up spam filters and do what we can from a technical perspective. But I would like to address the worry that many entrepreneurs have that they are inundating their list, that they're bothering them, that they would be considered spam, and the truth is that is very far from the truth. When people sign up to receive your newsletter, they are literally putting their hand up and saying, yes, I want to hear from you. So you are really doing them a disservice when you ignore that and you don't send out a newsletter, because they have literally said, yes, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what information that you have to share. And so the unfortunate part of only sending out one newsletter a month is the problem that we're facing with our inbox being so full and the spams and all that kind of stuff, is that 30 days later, the odds, especially at the beginning, are pretty good that this person won't remember who you are anymore. And you're going to get unsubscribes because a month ago, they didn't realize, they didn't remember that they had signed up for your newsletter. So in all honesty, like, we send out weekly newsletters and our unsubscribe rate is minuscule. Maybe one or two a month we might get of unsubscribes. And it's because the people had put their hand up and said they want to hear from us, and they are getting exactly what they asked for.
They're getting value.
They're getting value.
Yeah.
You're sending them value. And there is a formula. Like, even in our AMPLiFY Business Academy, we just finished doing a whole series on newsletter marketing and email marketing. So there is strategy that you have to follow in order to make sure that you aren't annoying your people who, put up their hand. And so I do highly recommend that you join AMPLiFY for that training. It's like a 4-session training. But I do want to mention about the value part. This goes right back to the attention economy. So you have to be providing a lot of value, enough to grab the attention of the people who signed up and said they want to hear from you. And if you don't, then you've lost them. And, so it's not just, the frequency of how often you send out a newsletter. It's also the value and the strategy that goes behind it.
Well, I'm going to continue to comment on that, because sometimes I'm subscribed to one person's email and I'm happy, I read it and all the rest of those. And then this person starts sending more in because he or she has affiliates that are saying, I want this to go out. I want, this is how people are growing their business, by helping with affiliate advertising as well. But I didn't sign up for this other stuff. And it's not just once, it's like sometimes 5 different things in a week. And it's like, you know what, that's not my value system. I signed up for this email, not a whole bunch of other stuff that I wasn't interested in. Anyway, so I understand how people have these concerns, and I'm just going to suggest on this comment is do what your gut says is right. If it doesn't feel right, then don't exploit your list there, because that's a trust thing too. Yeah,
and if I may just interject, like, that, it's also a legal issue. So when somebody signs up for a newsletter, you have to be explicit as to what exactly they're going to get in response of that. So if you're signing up for one newsletter and you end up getting on somebody else's list as a result, then that is actually illegal. So so do be careful, especially with the GDPR.
Good point. Yeah.
There's a lot of legalities involved in signing up. So if they were clear that, yes, by signing up, you're also going to get newsletters from all these other people, then that's up to the user to say no to that or unsubscribe to those others. But if they weren't clear, then that's a legal issue.
Okay, I like that. Okay, we've got another question here. How much credibility do you put into the analytics that Facebook and others like YouTube or LinkedIn, whatever they have, analytics, I shouldn't say that. It's just a ploy to get you to sign into their paid services? Talking about analytics, I guess you get them once a week or once a month. Who's visited your site, and they make suggestions here. How much credibility do you put that into those analytics?
Okay, so the
for your next step, I think
that's kind of like a two-parter. So so the analytics, whether it's Google Analytics or your Facebook stats, like the Insights or Twitter, LinkedIn, those analytics are actually very, very important. It is important to study that, or have somebody on your team like us to study it on your behalf, because that's telling you your barometer on what, how effective you're being in your efforts. You don't want to be wasting your time. So those analytics are very important. But I think the second part to that question is maybe they're getting sales messages from Facebook encouraging you to boost a post or to sign up for some ads to get better analytics. And yes, advertising should be a part of your marketing overall strategy. It is, if you want to, take the long route, then don't bother with advertising. But if you want to kind of quicken up the pace a little bit on getting more business, then you should do advertising. I do not recommend that you try to do Facebook advertising yourself or Google advertising. It is a very, very complex world, and you could be wasting hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you don't really know what you're doing. So this is something that we do, of course, so hire somebody who knows what they're doing if you're ready to invest a little bit on advertising. It's an industry of itself. It's somebody's profession who has to eat, live, and breathe that to really get the right results.
Like Daniel, right?
Like Daniel, he's on my team and he's my guy. I wouldn't even dare put on a Facebook ad.
Good. Yeah. He's good. Okay, we have one more question here about etiquette in the social groups here. It's a comment about posting and distributing sensitive items, even in a private group. We're invited to share. And then she says, I'm assuming it's a she, I like it when people type in, I'll PM you, so I'll private message you, but some people don't. So just because there's a closed group, is it appropriate to rant about, she just put stuff. I find that interesting too. It's a private group, whether it be a Facebook group or a private group, and it says, whatever stays here goes here. But some of the stuff shouldn't be in there. What's your comment on that?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you're on a third-party system owned by a big corporation.
Yep.
There's always eyeballs on everything. So I think the question to ask yourself on that is what you're about to post. Would it be okay if your grandma saw it on the billboard in Times Square? And this is across the board. This is not just in the private Facebook groups, but across the board. And if you feel like that little niggly thing, I don't think Grandma would appreciate this, then don't post it.
Yeah, Grandma's a pretty good barometer, isn't she?
Grandma's a great barometer for stuff like that. But I think what this caller is asking about is like the people who have created this private group. They're encouraging people to be honest and share openly.
Yeah.
And I get that. But there's a lot of eyeballs within that group. And so remember that brand positioning again, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to go in and start, verbal diarrhea on a bad client or something like that, word can spread. Just because nobody in the public is seeing that post, people within that group are, and their impression of you could be altered depending on what you write.
Awesome.
And there is that security issue as well. Nothing is 100% secure when you go online. Nothing.
Good point. Thank you for your comments on that. We've just got a couple of minutes left here, Susan. Is there anything we missed out on, or you want to just recap what we talked about today?
Yeah, well, today was all about, the power of that brand positioning and, creating sustainable growth for your business. Branding should be a very foremost part of your business, and think of it as an investment as opposed to an expense. The more you're going to invest in your branding, like creating that ideal client profile, understanding your brand positioning, and then having the brand materials like your logo and your marketing pieces, and of course your website, which is the foundation of your business, all of that is an investment in your business. The more you're prepared to invest in that now, the more you're going to save later, the more time and frustration you're going to save later, and the quicker you're going to get that sustainable business growth in place.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, it's been wonderful. Thanks, Susan Friesen, for being on the show today. And I want to thank you to all the listeners who joined us on Practical Solutions for Life. Don't forget to check out eVision Media Group Measurement membership AMPLiFY, helping you with all your social media and marketing needs. That's evisionmedia.ca. Looking ahead, we have quite a lineup. Next week, Tuesday, March 12th, we have James J., the co-founder of the International Feng Shui Guild. He has a few stories about the early days and invites you to join him on his next travel destination. And farther down, we have the power of being seen and being heard with Michaela Calici, an amazing challenge from her. We also have a visit from the Wealth Whisperer, finding your space and place for work and life. Pop on over to KathrynWilking.com for more information about me, pick up your free gift, and stay in touch so you won't miss an episode of Practical Solutions for Life on the Empowerment Channel with Voice America. Stay cool, calm, and collected. Spring will be here very soon. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in this week to Practical Solutions for Life. Be sure to join Kathryn Wilking for another amazing show next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. This week, embrace the changes that are coming into your life, and you too can have a great day.